What's up, you guys? Brian Felder here with another episode of The Adventures of an Entrepreneur, where we talk to different people that have taken the leap to leave a job, start a business, open up multiple businesses, and really dive into their successes and their challenges and really understand what was something that drove them to become an entrepreneur. And I'm super excited. I say super excited all the time, but I'm really excited. Darla with Uncluttered Haven is one of the most dynamic people you will meet. She's 4'11". She's really I'm just kidding. I don't even know how tall you are, to be honest.
6 foot.
6 foot. So I wear my stilettos when I see her, which is really good. But I am really excited because I think your story is really cool, very dynamic. You also have a tagline that you probably should have on shirts that we're going to get to in a little bit. But D, give us a little background on, like, where'd you grow up? Where are you from?
Yeah. Thanks for having me, first of all.
Awesome.
This is a pleasure. I'm happy to be here. I grew up outside of Philadelphia, so that's where my family still is, a large Italian family. So I don't know where I got my height from. Attended college in Philadelphia, was a college basketball player.
Awesome.
So that was wonderful. And now we reside in Northern Virginia.
So real quick, before we dive in, make sure you like and subscribe to the episode and to the podcast because you are about to get so much content. Get ready, you guys. So Philly. Loving Eagles, not loving Eagles.
I don't really have time to watch a lot of sports, not as much as, I would like to. My husband loves, he's a Vikings fan.
Vikings.
He's from Minnesota.
Okay, I was going to say Phillies and Eagles are nowhere close.
I hopped on the bandwagon for the Super Bowl.
Okay, awesome. I love it. Have you ever eaten a cheesesteak up there?
Of course.
Pat's or Geno's?
Both, and other spots as well. But definitely, I'm missing the Philly soft pretzels here.
Oh, the soft pretzels.
The soft pretzels are out of this world, and I just feel like Northern Virginia is missing that. So
you know what? They have Super Pretzel, which is the frozen box that you get at the grocery stores.
It's not the same.
Not even close. They're terrible. They're ridiculous.
It's not the same.
Actually, it's crazy. I will say this. We went to a Super Bowl party, and the parade was this past Friday. Mm-hmm. So went to a Super Bowl party. Eagles, big fans, big supporters. 5 days later, the parade, we're over at some friend's house, my wife and I, and some of their friends went to Philly to the parade. They brought back bottles of Bud Light with a Philly cheesesteak from Geno's that had probably been sitting out for 3 or 4 hours. I was like, I am not touching that. You'd have like sickness. I was like, that is not happening.
You weren't having it.
Not having it. Where'd you go to college?
Drexel University.
Drexel.
So it's kind of a neighboring college to the University of Penn.
Okay, awesome. And actually from Drexel, what made you guys move from like Philly to here? Or were you guys in Minnesota? Like, how'd you meet your husband?
I met him on Match.com. So at the time I lived in Philadelphia and he lived in Florida. Okay. And so we connected that way. And then we dated long distance for a year. And I broke the news to my family that I was going to go move to Florida. And we lived there and had our first son there.
Okay. And from Florida, what made you move from Florida to Northern Virginia?
There was a move in between. So we moved from Florida to Westchester, Pennsylvania. My husband's in the telecommunications sales world. And so he moved to Westchester, Pennsylvania for Comcast. And we were there for 5 years before we moved here.
So when did you launch a business?
So it'll be 2 years in April.
Oh, so you did launch it here in Northern Virginia.
I launched it here, 2 years in April.
So when you left Drexel, where'd you work? Like, where'd you?
So I was a psych major at Drexel, and then I went on to get my master's in counseling. So I've always loved helping people.
Love it.
Always have been a people person, very outgoing, social. And I decided not to go the counseling route and ended up in the special education field. Great. So I was a special education teacher for 10 years.
For 10 years?
10 years.
So special ed, my mom worked for Fairfax County Public School System special education department, and it was all about patience and all about like just very, very, being very understanding and no pressure and like just really having a method to really go ahead and connect and engage. My thing is, so how does that translate into the business? How does
to what I started to do? So at the time when I was a special ed teacher, I didn't have children. I had my first my first child when we lived in Florida. And then I was just like, I can't go back. I want to be a stay-at-home mom. And my husband, was okay with that. So I ended up staying home for 12 years. And being a stay-at-home mom is a super hard job. We have 3 children, so almost 15, 12, and 8 now. But I think we got to the point where my husband was like, okay, the kids are getting older. What are you going to do? You're going to go back to work. And I just kind of sat there and was like, I'm not really sure what I want to do. I don't know that I want to go back to teaching. Yes, I loved it at the time, but I didn't have kids. And like you said, being a special ed teacher really requires a lot of patience.
For sure.
So that kind of led me to help a neighbor. And I was kind of her house manager, and I've always loved to organize, and I've done it on the side for friends and family. And so when I was doing that, I was like, okay, I really like what I'm doing, and I really like how I feel when I'm doing it. So I'm going to keep doing it. But I did dabble back in the education field for maybe a year, just doing some tutoring on the side.
Okay.
And then I just was like, okay, I am feeling more satisfied, more happy, more lit up. After I do this organizing, I'm going to do more of this. So that's when I was like, I'm going to take a chance and I'm going to do it. I'm going to start my own business.
So 2 years ago, you're like, I'm taking the leap. Were you nervous?
Yes, nervous, but also feeling confident. And you know what? I'm just going to do this. And if I'm going to do it, I'm going to go all in and see what I can do, because I always knew that my potential was much bigger than what I was doing at the moment, right? I knew there was something bigger for me and something I wanted to just see, well, what can I do in my life, right?
Yeah.
I don't have to stop here. And I do believe that everything that I had dabbled in, or, my psych degree, my counseling degree, being a teacher, it all kind of led me to where I was supposed to be.
But it's really cool, because what I've found is a lot of people that go the entrepreneurial track, and it's something that's very consistent, is that it's this all-in mentality, right? Like, I'm going to give it everything I got. I'm not going to hesitate. I'm not going to hold back. I'm going to go all in. And you said all in.
Yes, definitely.
Tell people, what is organizing? Like, what's an organizing? People are like, I was like, what's an organizing business? Like,
right.
What is it? What do you do to organize? Like, what are you organizing?
So a lot of people don't even know that it's a profession, and you don't need specific training. I call myself a professional organizer because I have hours and hours of in-home experience, right? I've organized many bathrooms and kitchens and garages, basements, whatever. So organizing is, think of any space in your house. It's making it better, more functional, making your space work for your lifestyle, getting rid of clutter. It's a lot of people have the misconception that it's you have to get rid of everything and it's a minimalist lifestyle. It's really not. It's about enjoying your home again and living clutter-free, being mindful of purchases, and then, having the systems where you're able to maintain that organized life.
Okay, that's the most comprehensive explanation of a professional organizer that I've ever heard in my entire life.
I can break it down. So if you're like, okay, every time I open my kitchen cabinets, stuff falls out. I can't find the Tupperware containers. My spices, I gotta rip through them. We come in and literally provide a complete service for you where we are taking everything out, whether it be your pantry, your closet.
Cool.
We take it all out and start from scratch. So it's really just putting items where they belong. Everything needs to have a home.
But you're not doing like socks and like
Yes.
shorts and jeans and sweaters.
All of it. All of it.
Toiletries?
All of it. Toiletries. Think of a linen closet, how stuffed it could be with sheets and towels and products and who knows what's in there. A lot of people don't know, right? So when I go into a home, I never look at a home in isolation. I'm always like, okay, well, your kitchen is overstuffed and overcluttered, but what does your pantry look like? Where do you keep your back stock? Where do you keep your Costco purchases? Those things. So looking at it as a whole, it's just so much fun because every space is so different.
Which is cool because you think about it, everyone has clutter in some way, some shape, somehow, like everyone does. So outside of houses and people's house, do you help people unclutter their minds and their like thought process, or is it really just household goods? Like you have this, and one thing I love about you have this dynamic personality that is absolutely engaging and like you could tell, like, I'm excited. Like, I want to go home and like mess some stuff up and like clutter some things. And
I'll send you some suggestions.
Yeah, like I'm like motivated to like, I'm about to move the pillow on this couch right now. I'm like, how do I move? And like, I would just want to create some clutter in my life. Yes. Like, so this is my thing. So how big is the company? And where are you guys today? Like, where do you service? How do you service? Like, where do you get clients? So first step, how big is the company? How many employees?
Okay, so I have 12 contracted organizers on our schedule.
Okay.
And they're all trained by me. I have one girl on my team who is a lead organizer, meaning she will go out on her own and run the team, and she's amazing. All of the organizers are so wonderful. We're all mothers. We're all, there's a nurse on the team, a previous marketing, manager. Good. Just some stay-at-home moms who just want to get back into working and helping. So I always say this is not a one-man show. I really couldn't do it without them. And looking back on my earlier days when I first started, before I created the business, I was doing it on my own. And it's so much better to have a team because it's many hands and we get so much more done. It's way better.
I think it's really important. And this is something when you're running your own business or launching your own business, at some point you're going to need to create some leverage in your business. And so what Darla's talking about is, as a one-man show, you can do only so much. You're going to hit capacity. You're going to hit certain walls where you can't do more. Still balance out time for personal time, family time. And so I think it's really important as you grow your business and you scale in the area that you want to scale in, that you add in human capital, you add in technology, you add in resources to help you create leverage. I think that's really, really important. Yeah. And I think it's really cool that you do that. So where do you service? Are you only in Northern Virginia? Like, where do you guys go?
Northern Virginia, we travel. We're based out of Leesburg, Virginia. Okay. So we travel within an hour. So we've been to DC, Maryland, Virginia, Fairfax County, Loudoun County, other counties, within an hour travel.
And where does most of the business, like, how do people hear about you? Where
I would say a lot on Facebook. In Northern Virginia, it's really big to have these, the neighborhood Facebook pages and things. So it's a lot of word of mouth and referral. We have a lot of repeat customers. I think we have very satisfied customers who come back to us and they refer friends and family. So that's great.
Huge.
Yeah, actually, it's great.
So Dee, when you say satisfied clients that keep coming back to you, what makes them satisfied? Like, how do you know they're satisfied?
Well, they tell us. And I've had clients that have said, I've had other organizers in the past and I've never been able to maintain. So our one big thing is when we leave here, we're going to give you the systems in your home, whether that's something to hold your soda cans in your fridge, or it's a way to organize your sweaters so they're not all clumped together. Whatever it is, the systems we put in place, you're going to be able to maintain them. You shouldn't need an organizer every 6 months.
So you not only do the actual work, you guys, you ladies, but you also teach how to stay and maintain that organization.
Yes, without a doubt. Yeah.
I think that's a value add because I think sometimes, and you'll see this with different businesses where they'll do what the immediate need is, but they don't teach how to maintain a system, a heating air conditioner or whatever, a hot water heater, how to maintain maintaining your car. We'll fix your car. We won't teach you how to maintain it.
Right.
When it breaks, you come back and now it's more business for the business.
Yes.
You've done a really good job by being a little more counterculture where it's not like, hey, we can get you organized, but we'll also go ahead and we're going to show you the system to stay organized. And maybe they need like a touch up, or maybe in a year they need, hey, something else happened in their life. They need you to come back, which I think is huge.
Yes. And you had talked about the stress factor, we help. Clutter causes people stress so much. And that's kind of where the Uncluttered Haven name came from. Because really, when you think about going home after a long day of work, you want your home to be a haven and a place where you could just kick back and relax. But for many people, that's not the case. They come home to cluttered kitchens and cluttered family rooms or toy rooms that are just spilling over with toys, and some people can't park their garages. So they don't view their home as a haven. So when we get in there and we can leave them with the uncluttered haven, that is huge for them. And that really lowers their stress levels, where they can enjoy their home again.
Which I think is really cool. So you're not just filling the immediate physical need, you're serving the emotional need, which then creates a following that people respect what you do, willing to pay the price, right? They see the value in what you guys offer. What I thought is really cool, what I know about you, and we've only known each other a very short period of time, is you went from 1,000 followers to what, 16,000 or 17?
Now it's at 18,000.
18,000
on Facebook.
Followers.
On Facebook.
In 7 years, 10 years? Just kidding. You've only been in business 2. How long did it take to go from 1,000 to 16, 17, 18?
Well, that was after one of my posts went viral.
And what was the post? What made it go viral?
So the post was literally me just holding a container, putting paper plates in and putting it above in a cabinet up high, showing how you could organize the plates. So what made it go viral? A lot of comments about, where did you get that container? That's a great idea. I never thought to store my paper products like that, all the way to, plastic is bad for the environment. So a lot of different comments.
You got good and not so good.
Good and not so good. But I had an answer for everybody, and it's always respectful. And, I welcome all opinions, but mainly very positive feedback.
I love it.
Yeah.
If you were going to say a challenge in your business, where's pain? Like, where is the pain in your business, or where is the challenge?
I would say the challenge for me is, because I am very type A, is to let go of some of that control. Right. And I know that I need more leads, and I need to let others take the lead more often. But I often say that, I pour my heart and soul into this business, and it's my baby, like many entrepreneurs. Right. And I want to make sure that whatever service we're providing is 1,000% up to my standards. So always having my hand in it and delivering the right.
But also you get direct, like the outcome, right? Like, hey, this is how we're going to serve people. These are the clients we want to serve, and how we serve them. I want it this way. I want this process.
Yes.
Because when you get both reviews, you get more followers.
Yes.
You get more business.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's really important. So I think if anything, there is a degree when you're running your own business that we all want certain levels of control. And I think that's really good. I think what Darla has done such a great job of is she's identified talent to help her create leverage in different areas of her business. And I think that's really, really powerful, because you wouldn't be able to serve all the people that you serve if you didn't have those 12 other people.
Right.
But there's still control that you retain that allows you to really maximize and drive the business forward for where you want to be. I think that's massive.
Yeah.
What do you do for fun?
Oh gosh, fun. Well, my kids keep me busy, and they're all very active in basketball, which is fun. So we're constantly at basketball games, whether it's travel or middle school, high school. So we love that. We're very social. We go out with friends, and we have a sweet little puppy who keeps us on our toes. And
how old are the kids?
15, almost 15, 12, and 8. So one in each school, elementary, middle, and high school. So life is very busy.
So that is a really good point that we kind of segment right into. So you got one in every level of school, happily married, puppy, right? Puppy. How old's a pup?
Well, she's 2, but she still behaves like a puppy.
Yeah. So I still think that's a pup. You know, once they reach 2 years and 1 month, I think I'm just kidding. Probably at the 3-year mark.
I'm waiting for her to grow out of these behaviors.
Which may never happen.
Maybe not.
I have an 11-year-old golden doodle named Cooper.
Oh, so we have a doodle too.
Oh, you do?
A mini.
We should doodle our doodles.
But she's a labradoodle.
Oh, ours is a golden doodle. And Cooper is still a force to be reckoned with. Like he's calmed down a lot, but like he always wants food. He always wants this. He wants attention.
Yes. And they need a lot of activity. They need to be tired out.
They do need to be tired out, which is interesting because you're doing that. You're running a very successful business. You got 18,000 followers. Like, where is Darla time? Where is like some downtime for Miss Darla?
Yes.
Where is that?
Well, good question. And I'm working on that. So that's definitely a goal. And I think being a stay-at-home mom for that long and being, running the show and being the head of the household in that sense, now it's kind of, switching the roles with, my husband does things and I do things and figuring that all out. So definitely, because I am driven, finding the work-life balance is definitely something I need to figure out.
Yeah, it is hard. It's funny because you mentioned the sauna. How often do you go to the sauna in your house?
A couple times a week.
It's a good way for you to decompress.
Yes.
Like just disconnect.
Tech-free, no phone, right.
No phone, no nothing. Outside of watching the podcast on the adventures of an entrepreneur.
I'll have to listen to it in the sauna for sure.
Listen to it for sure.
Yeah.
Why sauna? Why go sauna? Like some people go get a massage. Some people are like, I want to go take a swim. Some people are like, whatever. Why do you pick a sauna?
Well, I think for me, it's a way to slow down. I'm always in go mode and I never sit down. So for me, I'm forced to kind of sit there and you can't bring your phone into the sauna. I don't know why, but you cannot.
Okay.
But you can listen to podcasts. So I'll listen to this in there.
Which is amazing. I will say, and that's probably a really good nugget that you just dropped, is that as an entrepreneur, as a successful businesswoman, you drive and you grind and you go. It's not like you have a lot of downtime. So you almost have to build in that downtime because by building in that downtime, it allows you to move forward. So you take a step back, you take a break, it allows you to move forward and be able to grow the company and really take a step back to one, really rejuvenate and refocus and re-energize you. And I think that's really powerful because just like you, I am a hard charging, go get it, scratch, bite, claw. Like I go after it pretty hard. And I've learned if I don't disconnect, I can really hit the wall pretty bad. And then you get to a point where you're not good to anything. You're not good to the business. You're good to the home life.
Yeah.
Yesterday was really cool. I was so pumped. I cleared my schedule in the morning and Beth and I went to breakfast.
That's so nice.
And it was awesome. It was like, and she was like, wait, you want to go breakfast now? I was like, yeah. I was like, babe, let's go breakfast. And she's like, where are we going? I was like, our favorite place.
That's so fun.
Have you ever heard of Cracker Barrel?
Yes, I've never been to one.
You've never been to Cracker Barrel?
Which is crazy. I've never been to one. I don't know why. They're always all around where we live. It's weird.
We had a gift card. I used the gift. It was only $18. I was so pumped.
What did you get?
The Country Boy Breakfast is my favorite.
What's that?
It's like 3 eggs. I always get over medium.
Okay.
Country ham, which is great because I love like the saltiness with the eggs. And then like they have this hash brown casserole. Like I'm starting to get hungry. The hash brown casserole. And I'm not supposed to eat that because I don't usually eat that.
Yeah.
So they usually give like 3/4 of it to Beth. And like I'll just have a little bit just to taste the taste buds. And then fried apples. Like their fried apples. Oh, their coffee. Like they got new coffee mugs.
I think I need to go there.
I'm starting to salivate. Is that the word? Salivate? I don't even know if that's the word.
Oh my gosh.
But I will tell you, if you ever get a chance to go to Cracker Barrel, y'all, it is like a place to disconnect.
Yeah.
If you were going to tell someone, because your story is it's just so inspiring with everything you've done.
Thanks.
Someone who's working for someone that owns their own business, maybe struggling, like what advice would you give someone that needs some guidance? Like what would you give someone to someone who is looking to start their own business? What would you say?
I would say jump in, jump in and learn as you go and do the things that scare you. You had asked us last month, you had asked us to come with a song to the next meeting. You didn't ask us, but I was prepared. And so my song that represents my business is This Girl Is on Fire by Alicia Keys. And the reason is because she says she's walking on fire. And in real life, I would be so scared to walk on fire, that whole Tony Robbins thing. But doing the things that scare you and really just seeing what your potential is, right?
I think.
And not being scared, and don't let the fear hold you back.
Well, you got to like power through the fear.
Yes,
right?
Power through.
You got like my song is Metallica. Have you ever heard of Metallica?
Oh, yes, I've heard of it. Now I think of that song every time.
Nothing else matters.
Yes.
Like, and my song will change, but like nothing else matters. It's crazy.
And that's in your head, right?
For sure.
Yeah.
Unstoppable. What's the tagline? I do want to get to that as we wrap up. Like, what's the tagline that your girlfriend says to you that I think is just super powerful? It's like a trigger, right? And I think it's so awesome. What's the tagline?
She says, do it like Dar.
And what's the background? Why did that come up and how did
she's a designer and she's, we kind of overlap in that sense. So we do a lot of home things together, and she just knows that I'm very particular and have a certain way of doing it and taking charge and getting it done. And so she says, do it like Dar.
So maybe Alicia Keys wrote the song This Girl Is on Fire because of you. Maybe that was the whole, maybe. Another world, whatever.
Alicia, if you're listening and you need home organizing, reach out to me.
So we just plugged Alicia Keys and we plugged Cracker Barrel.
Right.
It's so good. Like their ratings are going to go through the roof. They're going to get all kinds of reviews. It's going to be crazy. How do people get in touch with you?
So they can contact me through my website, which is unclutteredhaven.com. Right. I'm on social media, Instagram handles at unclutteredhaven, and I'm on Facebook as well, Uncluttered Haven.
I love it. As we wrap up, what would be something that you would want to share with everyone that is just business-wise? Like what would be something business, like maybe balance between business and personal? Like what would be some, like one lasting tip or strategy or tactic that you think would be good for people to know that you've been able to either overcome as a challenge or obstacle, or just something that people need to keep in mind? Like what would
I would say we live in the social media world, right? You know, people are doom scrolling, you wake up, grab your phone, go to bed with your phone.
Right.
They're looking for content, and somebody needs your service out there. So get yourself on social media, you know, don't be scared. Show up, be consistent, learn. If you don't know how to create a reel, YouTube it, right? Google it, figure it out, experiment with it. Nobody's sitting there behind the scenes laughing at you, but you do need to be consistent. And I think when people see that you consistently show up in that way, that adds credibility to you, right?
For sure. Well, it's also you're bringing value to them through content.
Yes.
And so social has been something that's been very successful for you and your business.
Yes.
I'll do this side note, and I was going to wrap up, but I got to tell this quick story. So I'm not the most active on social media, and I'm still learning a lot about it, but today at our team meeting earlier, we did a 30-minute social media training where my marketing coordinator, Jessica, and Sadie, one of our agents, my partner, was basically like, we're going to teach people how to do stuff with social. And so there's like 8 of us in the room. I'm trying to like follow along. They're like, do this and share this. And I'm like, look, I keep hitting the pound and like I'm pound and then like TVRG homes. And they're like, okay, it's called hashtag.
Yes.
It's not pound. That was back in the day.
Yes.
Does not. They're like, use the @ and I was like looking for AT and they're like, no, it's the @ signal.
Yes.
So I have a long way to go. Mm-hmm. I'm learning.
But you'll learn.
I'm going to learn.
Yeah.
It's all good. Darla, you are an inspiration.
Thank you.
You are freaking a rock star.
Thanks.
I think everyone should do it like Dar, just so you know. Everyone should do it like themselves. But make sure you guys make sure you guys subscribe, and make sure you guys take some time to really re-listen to this episode, because there were so many nuggets that I thought were so powerful, and your energy is so electric. And so it really is magnetic. Like I could talk to you for hours.
Oh,
like,
thank you.
I'm not tired at all, which is crazy. But it is very, very impressive in what you've done. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
You were a blast, and let's rock and let's go do it like Dar.
Yeah, let's do it.
You rock.